Hey everyone, thanks for clicking this video. If you're new here, please subscribe down below and click the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. So you can consider this video my book talk debut. This is my very first book video and I'm super excited. I think I mentioned in one of my vlogs that I wanted to start reading more and replace the routine of getting on TikTok at night before I go to bed with reading. So I've been watching a bunch of book talk YouTubers and I fell in love, and I purchased a few books based on their recommendations. So these are the books that I'm planning to read for September / a book haul because most of these books are new. I also created a Goodreads account. I'll have that link down below. Be sure to add me so you can see all the books that I'm reading and my reading progress and reviews and things like that. But yes, with that being said, I will get into the video. The first book that I will be reading is this one. This is Dial A For Aunties. This is by Jessie Q Santona. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. I first got introduced to this book on Helly Fam. I think one of her TBRs or like reading vlogs. I think she was reading this book and she said it was like really interesting and fast to read, which got me really excited because since I haven't really read much since college, I want to start off by reading something that's more of a page turner, easy to read, and that's going to hook me in and get me excited and help me fall back in love with reading. So this book is about a girl who works for her family wedding business. She works with her mom and her aunts, and they all have different jobs in the wedding business. She's a photographer. One of her aunts bakes the cakes, another one performs for the wedding. They all have jobs for the wedding, but she is around like 26, I believe, and her mom really wants her to get married and have kids so her mom can have grandchildren. So her mom actually sets her up on a blind date with a guy, and during that blind date she accidentally kills the guy. So the story is basically her and her family trying to cover up her accidental murder, and it's during a wedding weekend, so they're trying to hide the body during the wedding and like hide it from all of the wedding guests. As I mentioned, I did start this book. I think I was reading this book in one of my vlogs already too. So far it really has been a page turner. It got me hooked and interested. So far it had a lot of references to like Chinese and Indonesian culture, which was really interesting. I'm not of that culture, but I still found it interesting, and I feel like people like of that culture would be able to really connect with this book. I feel like authors of color aren't really like as mainstreamed or like as popular, so I've been really putting the effort to read more books by minorities and people of color and things like that. So I was really excited to find out that this author was of Chinese Indonesian descent, I believe. If you're interested in other books by people of color, if you're interested in YA, I would suggest looking up, I think her name is Nicole Yan. It'll be up in the screen. She wrote The Sun Is Also a Star, I believe. I think that's the book title. The Sun Is Also a Star. It'll be on the screen right here. If you're interested in YA books by POC, I would definitely recommend that one because that one was really good. I read it a few years ago. If you're interested in poetry, I would recommend Worcestershire. I'm so bad with names, guys. Please forgive me. If you're interested in poems, she does really good poems. I think she had a book called Teaching My Mother How to Give Birth, which was really interesting. And then finally, I would recommend reading Americana. But that was my little tangent about authors of color that you should check out. There also is a few other books on my list by authors of color too, if you're interested in that. All right, the next book on the list is Every Summer After. I got recommended this book by another booktuber. I think her name's Sarah. Her information will be on the screen. I saw her do a reading vlog of this book, and I think she said that it was a combination of Love in Other Words and The Summer I Turned Pretty. So if you like those two books, you would really like this. As you can see, I already started it because I was really excited to start reading it. In her book video, I think in the beginning like she wasn't really into it, but by the end she was like in love with it. She fell in love with these characters. I think she was like crying at the end of the reading vlog, so I was like, I have to read this book. So this book is by Carley. This is about a girl who goes to a summer home every summer. She meets this boy when she's like a kid in 7th grade. His name is Sam, and she like creates like a friendship with him, and she meets him every single summer. And the book starts off with you finding out that they are no longer like close friends or like together anymore, and the whole book you're trying to figure out what happened to ever pull them apart, because like I started reading it and you see that her and this boy Sam have a really like strong connection. They're like best friends, so you're wondering what could have happened to separate their relationship. I also saw Bethany Mona. Comment down below if you used to watch Bethany Mona, because she was like the biggest YouTuber and she just did a book video, and I think this was like the first book she read for like a 24-hour reading challenge, and she said this one was really good too, so that's why I had to check it out. It seems like this book is second chance romance, friends to lovers, so if you're into those tropes, you'll definitely be interested in this. I'm super excited to read it or finish it. I think I'm in chapter 7 already, and I like just started this. So be sure to comment down below if you would like a review on this book or any other book I talk about today. The next book is called Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a book by another POC author. I'm trying to remember where I heard about this book. I think I just googled new popular books by POC authors. This was also Barnes & Noble monthly pick when I picked it up. I got this book from Barnes & Noble. This one I got from Amazon. Dial A from Aunties I got from Barnes & Noble as well. So I think I just like was in Barnes & Noble walking around googling books by POC authors I should check out, and then I saw this one and it piqued my interest. I'm going to read on the back what it's about. I'm new to this book vlogging, so comment down below if you would like me to read the back of each book that I bring up in like TBRs and reviews and hauls, or if you just would like me to communicate like the themes of each book. So it says, when legendary R&B artist Corey Fields spot Enchanted Jones at an audition, her dreams of being a famous singer take flight until Enchanted wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night. Who killed Corey Fields? So that reminds me of when I found this book. I was really excited to pick this up because there was a theme of mystery in the book, and I really like that. Like, I like romance, but I also like mystery as well. For me, the story doesn't have to completely center around a romance. That's why I was excited for Dial A for Auntie, because I forgot to mention that there is romance in Dial A for Auntie. It is some second chance romance in that book too, so that's why I was excited to read that one, because like some people, they need the whole book to be romance, but honestly I really don't need the whole book to be romance, and I don't think this book would even be categorized by romance. It's more of a mystery and I think a cautionary tale, because the lead character in this book, Enchanted, I think she's like a teenager and she has dreams of being a singer, and then she meets this older guy with a large age gap, and I guess they start a romantic relationship or something that's inappropriate, and I think he like takes advantage of her. So I think this book will most likely have a twist, because it says she wakes up with his blood on her hand. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. This will probably be one of the last books I read this month in September, just because I'm really reading like for my anxiety and just a way to wind down before bed, and this seems like it has a lot of heavy themes, so I think I want to just ease into it and start off with like the romance books and things like that, and then move to this after I finish those. Her picture in the back is so cute. Y'all probably can't see it, but yeah, shout out to her, and I'm really excited to start reading this. Next up, I could not do a reading vlog without mentioning Miss Colleen Hoover. She is very famous across BookTube, BookTok, Instagram. I think Kylie Jenner posted this book in her story. She's very famous right now. She was like famous I think in the late 2000s, like 2009 or 2016. I could be all wrong. I think it was 2016, but I never heard of her until this year on BookTok and everything, and it's especially this book. This is like her most famous book. I'm rambling about the book and I haven't even named the name yet, but it's called It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. They say for people who maybe haven't read in a while and are looking to fall back in love with reading, they should check her books out. So I had to add it on my list. I'll probably read this one next after I finish reading Every Summer After, because there is like romance in this book too, but there are some heavier themes for this book as well, so I would encourage you to look up the trigger warnings before you read this book. That's what everyone said on BookTok, and I haven't even read the trigger warnings. I'm just going in blind with this, but I'm super excited to read this. I did watch a few videos and people mentioned this, but I did did watch a video by As Told by Kenya, I think her name is. She did a video called Black Girl Reads Colleen Hoover, which was hilarious. I love her so much. She read the book. She personally didn't like them that much, but this was her top rated one. Even though she thought Colleen Hoover wasn't really the author for her, she did rate this one on top of all the other ones. So that's why I'm like, if you don't even like Colleen Hoover but this one is more of your favorite, I have to read it. I got this one from Amazon actually because I went to Barnes and Noble to look for this book. Oh wow, I got it mixed up. I didn't order Every Summer After. I actually went into Barnes and Noble and bought this one, and I ordered Dial A for Auntie. That's where I got mixed up. But when I went to the store to get Every Summer After, I was going to buy this one as well, but it was sold out at my Barnes and Noble, and they had one left in the Barnes and Noble in my town. So I was like, I'm gonna just buy it off Amazon. It's gonna be cheaper. But I do want to say, support local bookstores when you can. The next book on my list I got from a local bookstore just because I wanted to support local bookstores. Use your discretion, because buying from local bookstores are a little bit more expensive because it's not a big corporation, so you will have to pay a little bit more. But I will say, please, when you can, support local bookstores, support local business, mom and pop shops. That's really important to me. So when you have the extra money, I do encourage you to take that route. So as I said, I am going into this book pretty much blind. I do know it's about a girl who starts dating this guy who I think is a neurosurgeon, and there also may be some second chance romance in this book because I think people mentioned another guy named Atlas who was like her childhood love, or something, like her first love. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think there is love in this, but I think there also is heavy themes about like domestic violence and things like that. So I'm not sure how all of those things can tie together, but we will see what Colleen Hoover has up her sleeve when I read this book. And if you would like my rating and my review, please comment down below and let me know, and I'll film that video for you guys. Last but definitely not least is this small little adorable book here. This book is so small compared to my other books. I don't know if every release is this small or if this was just all they had at the local bookstore that I went to. This is also the only hardback book that I have. I prefer not to read hardback books, honestly. Hardback is more expensive, and I just prefer holding a paperback book. It feels more like casual to me. Here I go rambling before I even introduce what the book is. This one is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm not going to say the author name because, like, out of respect, I don't want to butcher it. This book, I believe, was originally in Japanese or one other language, and it was translated to English. So I was excited to read something by a PLC author, and this is like my first book translation from another language that I'm reading, which is really cool as well. I saw another booktuber mention this book. I think I looked up like fast reads or smaller books or something along those lines, because I knew that I wanted to have like an ambitious reading list for September, but I wanted to throw in some smaller books that'll be quicker to get through. So this was like the top one on the list. I think this is about time travel, which is really interesting. The other books that I'm reading aren't really as whimsical, and honestly that's the extent that I know about this book. I'm going into this book blind as well. I think it's about people go to this specific coffee shop and you're able to time travel, but you have to get back before the coffee turns cold. And I think the book consists of like 3 stories of people who time travel, and at the end it all comes together. I was thinking about doing a reading vlog for this book since this one's shorter, and give you guys my live reaction of how it is. So comment down below if you want that. Another reason I don't like paperbacks is I be throwing my books around, I'm rough and stuff like that, and I think I already like started to like rip the bottom of this. I think the bookstore owner said this doesn't come in paperback, so who knows, but I think I got makeup on the cover of this too. That's how messy I am. But as you can see, the pages are very small, so I'll get through this really quickly, and I'm excited to read it and give you an update when I'm finished. So this is my ambitious September TBR. These are the books that I'm looking forward to read in September. At the end of the month, I'll do an update for you guys to let you know what books I actually ended up reading, if I bought anything else and read that instead. I'll keep you guys updated, and if you like these type of videos, please let me know below. I really want to jump into the booktube realm, at least for some of my videos, because the booktube community seems really welcoming, and I've been really loving watching reading vlogs and book hauls and TBRs and things like that. And just starting these books that I've started, I've like fallen back in love with reading. For the first time, I'm really excited for reading. I'm no longer in school. I've graduated with my master's, so I'm super excited to dive into reading for pleasure again, because I used to love it before college. But yes, we've come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe down below and click the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. Follow me on Goodreads so you can follow along with everything I'm reading and see my reviews and stuff. And also, I have my Amazon reading wish list down below so you can send me your favorite book if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.